Hi guys, so I'm going to go over some of these questions in case you got any of these answers wrong. I will walk through all the questions and hopefully you can figure out where you had some trouble. So if I look at number 4, first I'm going to highlight all of the numbers to help myself. Then I'm going to write the formula, M1V1 equals M2V2. So it says I'm looking for a final volume. So make one of your V's the X value. Since it's final, I'll put it over here. And so if I look in the question, it says that the other volume number that I have is 0.500, so that goes over here for V1. And then you have to be careful. It says it's diluted from 12 to 1.5. So from means this happened first, and this one was second. So 12 is the first molarity, and the second molarity is 1.50. So then you're all set to solve. So first multiply those two numbers, which equals out to 6. Then you have 1.5x, divide by 1.5. This cancels, and your calculator is going to tell you 4. And then for sig figs, you look, all of the original numbers had 3 sig figs. To make this 3 sig figs, you can put a 0.00 on it. Lastly, we were looking for volume. Options are milliliters or liters. Since the question said liters, that's what we put onto our final answer. Let's take a peek at number 5, if you had trouble with that. Highlight all the numbers that you need. And then go ahead and write your formula, M1V1, M2V2. So this one says I am looking for a volume, so I don't know volume. But it tells me that the molarity that goes with that volume is 6.00, so that goes right next to it. The original molarity that I have, here's another M number, is 1.25. And the volume to go with that is 2.50. Then you're all set up to solve, so you're going to multiply these two numbers together. So 1.25 times 2.5. So that's 3.125 equals 6x. You can go ahead and divide by 6 here. And so your calculator is going to tell you oops, I missed a button. So it says 0.5208 and then a whole bunch of repeating 3's. Then you're ready for sig figs. Everything in the question had 3 sig figs originally. And so the third sig fig is here at the 0, but the 8 makes that round up, so it becomes 0.521. Lastly, we were looking for volume. Volume units can be milliliters or they can be liters. Since the question said liters originally, that's what we put on our final answer. Let's take a peek at number 6 if you struggled with that one. Go ahead and highlight all the numbers that you see. And then you're going to write your formula. M1V1 equals M2V2. So in this question it says what is the new molarity? New means the second one, so the X is going to go over here. Originally the molarity that I had was 6.0. And the volume that goes with it, because it's right next to it, is 100. That means V2 is 300. So now we're all set up to solve. Multiply these two numbers together, you get 600. On the other side you have 300x. To solve using your algebra, you're going to divide by 300. So you're going to see on your calculator x says 2. Check my sig figs. Yeah, I did it up there. So down here, my sig figs are off. I started with 4 sig figs here, 4 sig figs here, and 2 here. To make this 2 sig figs, I'm going to add a 0.0. And since I was looking for molarity, your unit has to be M for molar. If you need some help with number 7, let's go through. Let's highlight our numbers. Then we'll write our formula. M1V1, M2V2. So in this one I'm looking for the new concentration. Remember, concentration means the same thing as M for molarity. So X goes over here. It's the new one. It's the second one. I start with this, 250 milliliters of a 0.1 molar solution. So here's my other molarity. And the volume that I had was 250. The other volume is here, 750, and now you're set up to solve. So multiply these two numbers, and you get 25. On the other side, you have 750x. To solve, you can divide by 750, divide by the thing touching the x. Throw that into your calculator. And my calculator says 0.0 with a bunch of repeating 3's. I messed up my sig figs here. Yeah, I did. So when I do this, I'm going to fix this answer. All of my original numbers had 2 sig figs, and so that's what I want my answer to have as well, which means that's going to fall here with this 3. The zeros are not significant. So my final answer will be 0.033. And M is the unit because we were looking for concentration. Alright, let's take a peek at number 8 if you struggled with that one. Get rid of this. Let's highlight our numbers. And then we can write the formula. M1V1, M2V2. Alright, so in this one I'm looking for a new concentration. That means I'm looking for the molarity over here, and it's the second one because it's new. So this tells me I start with this molarity, there's M1, and the volume that I have is 655, so those go together. Now for V2, don't just put in 325. It tells me 325 evaporates, which means you lose 325 milliliters. If you started with 655, you need to subtract those two numbers. That means that your second volume is actually 330 milliliters. And now you're set up to solve. Multiply these two numbers, 300x here, divide by the thing touching the x, put that into your calculator. Oh, I wrote this wrong. This should be 330 over here, sorry. Not 300, we wanted that to be 330. So let's divide 655 over here by 330. So here my calculator says 1.984848. We're going to do our sig figs. I see 3 in all of the original numbers. So we will round to the third sig fig here, which is 1.98. The 4 means we don't have to round up. Because we were looking for concentration, that means the same thing as molarity, and so that's the unit that we put on our answer. Alright, if you need a little bit of help with number 9, let's highlight all of our numbers. Write our formula, M1V1, M2V2. So I'm looking for final molarity. That means M2, the second one. Okay? So the original molarity that I had was this number because it has an M on it, 12.0. And I started with this much, 0.50 liters of that. So that goes over there. Be careful for V2. It is not just 2.0. It tells me I'm adding 2.00. I started with this much. That means that my V2, when I add those two numbers up, is 2.5. Okay, then you're set to solve. Multiply these two numbers together, and you should get 6 equals 2.5x. Divide by the thing touching the x. Oops. And your calculator should just say 2.4. And then I'm going to fix my sig figs. So I've got 3 in all of my original numbers, which means to make this 3 I'm going to add a 0. Because I'm looking for molarity, the unit for molarity is m. And that's it. If you still need a little bit of help, come on over and ask.